Reviews on the Run are coming up next. You buy Hip Gear Accessories.
There's only one thing I like better than taking a ride on a nice big hog. That's playing Stuart Little, The Journey Home for the Game Boy Color. And let me tell you something about Stuart Little. If you're not older than 5, you probably won't be picking this game up anytime soon. This is a very simple game for a younger audience. Adults would probably blow through this entire game in approximately, 35 minutes. But it's a great game for little kids, and it's got 2 basic gameplay elements. One is your simple side-scrolling platform game where you run around and pick up items like socks and put them in the washer and dryer. Now, I don't do that at home, so why I would want to do that in a video game, I have no idea. It has other different modes, too, like driving, and you can drive all sorts of things like go-karts and golf carts and even boats. It's kind of hard sometimes to see where the track is, but you get used to it. Overall, I give Stuart Little a 7 because it is a good game for kids. And that's all I can say about Stuart Little, The Journey Home.
Reviews on the Run is brought to you by Microplay. All right, buddy, I think we're in the right location to talk about Silent Hill 2 for the PlayStation 2. What'd you think?
The graphics in this game are absolutely intense. I mean, from the first frame of animation where the guy's looking at himself in the mirror, you just get this sense of, no way, that can't possibly be what the game is going to look like.
It's a revisit to the town of Silent Hill. It's not an exact sort of story sequel from the first game. It's a new bunch of characters, but you're back in this sort of haunted New England town. And it really sets up a great atmosphere. That's the best thing I can say about this game. The atmosphere and the mood are beautiful. It's very, very creepy. It's like a cross between Twin Peaks and Blair Witch Project.
The storyline is very compelling also. I mean, you get a letter from your wife who's dead.
Yeah.
The letter tells you that you have to go and meet her by our special place. This is a scary game. The sound in this game is
amazing.
Absolutely amazing, except for one thing. One footstep sound.
Maybe it's the same person that does all the footstep sound.
This person,
maybe it's the one guy that he only has one footstep sound.
He only has 1 foot.
Maybe it's 1 foot.
Happening.
And he's hopping.
Hopping around.
Oh, what a lousy job that
because the footstep sound is so important in a game, and I'll tell you why. Because it's the only sound that you hear constantly throughout the entire game.
When you play this alone at midnight in your house and the lights are all off, you really feel like you are that character and you're in this very, very psychologically terrifying world. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I would highly recommend it if you're in the mood to get spooked. It's great.
I also give it an 8.5.
It's the same across the board. EGM gave it an 8.5. All right, let's talk about Luigi's Mansion, another spooky game. It's for the Nintendo GameCube.
Well, it wasn't very spooky, though.
Well, maybe for the wrong reasons.
I tell you, this was supposed to be Nintendo's flagship game that was going to sell millions of GameCubes. And I got to be honest with you, I'm completely disappointed. The graphics are very alias looking, and it gives me nothing that wows me. GameCube has to compete with Xbox and second-generation PlayStation 2 games. This, to me, is not a next-generation platform game.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit. Every new system that Nintendo has put out, they've offered up a Mario game to go along with it. The first NES had Super Mario Brothers, then there was Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo system, and then the N64 had Super Mario 64. Now the Nintendo GameCube comes out, and we've got Luigi's Mansion, and the expectations are so high that this game is going to be such a revolutionary gameplay experience. And man, what a letdown. Where this game really falls down for me, though, is in the gameplay itself. It just feels very linear and very tied to the one idea, which is you have a Ghostbuster sort of device, and you walk from room to room, and you suck in ghosts. And
it's a vacuum cleaner simulator. This is what the game is.
It feels like that a little bit. This is a powerful system. It can do more than this, and they really should have gone the extra mile to deliver a top-notch, state-of-the-art gameplay experience like all the previous Mario Brothers games have been. So I'm going to give this 6.5 out of 10.
Really? Yeah. Wow. I give it a 6, but I'm surprised that you would give it such a lower number.
I was surprised, too. I know Nintendo can do better than this. EGM gave it an average score of 7.5. Let's move on. We're going to talk about Eco for the PlayStation 2.
Eco or Ico?
I think it's Eco.
Echo?
Could be Ico.
Before we say anything, I'm just going to say this right now at the beginning of my review.
What's that?
I am giving Eco a 10.
Wow.
The way the character moves around is really revolutionary in the way that the camera follows. I mean, this is such a cinematic experience, and it's so intuitive. You don't have to press a million buttons to do things. The character just kind of does it and recognizes it.
You play as a young boy who grows horns on his head and is ostracized by his village and sent to a catacomb and put inside of a tomb as a sacrifice to the gods of the town. And you're in this enormous castle. You luckily get to break free from that trap, and then all of a sudden you find this young caged ghost-like girl who you befriend and try to help and save from these mystical sort of spirit demon things. And you have to work with the ghost girl who's named Yorda to get out of all the tricks and traps that are in this castle.
The enemies in this, these
I love the
black
enemies.
dust monsters,
They're so cool looking.
are the most amazing, and they will go and carry the girl, pick her up, and try to take her into their little black hole, and you're beating them with a stick.
I'm going to give Eco a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's great. I do feel that it borrows from Tomb Raider and borrows from Super Mario Brothers. Not a problem there, but I did wish that there were more enemies and more things to do battle with throughout the game.
I give it an absolute 10 out of 10, my highest rated game. This is what the next level of video games are.
EGM gave it an average score of 8.5.
All right, let's talk about Ooga Booga.
Ooga Booga!
Ooga Booga,
Ooga Booga!
or the Sega Dreamcast from Visual Concepts.
Okay.
Basically, you're on an island, you've got these tribes of witch doctors, and you're battling with each other in various different game scenarios. And you've got different weapons. You have shrunken heads that you can throw at each other and they explode like bombs. You've got homing heads, which are like homing missiles, but they're heads. You can jump onto wild boars or fly on birds and drop bombs.
The graphics on this are going back about, I don't know, 2 years. There's no texture mapping, it's all just
Very
color.
cartoony.
I mean, this is the same company who gave us
Hits like Floygan Brothers.
Floygan Brothers, which, no, but graphically, Floygan Brothers looked a lot better than this.
It's really just a collection of mini games, and it's not really a cohesive, value-packed game. But if you've got a bunch of friends that like to play games together, or you've got a Dreamcast and you're online all the time, it's sort of like Bomberman and Mario Party mixed in together, where you're just, you know, trying to bomb everybody.
I didn't have fun.
So what would you give Ooga Booga then?
The graphics are too archaic looking. The gameplay is nothing. I mean, you collect these shrunken heads that fall off a tree. Why are they shrunken heads? Why aren't they coconuts? Coconuts fall off trees. I mean, I give it a 5.
I give it a 7.5.
EGM agreed with me at 7.5 out of 10.
All right.
Can't believe you gave Eco. Eco?
Eco.
How do you say it?
I think it's Eco.
Ico?
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 9.0. 9.5.
ICO. Ico.
Eco.
Echo?
All right.
Ico.
That's good enough. I'm up.
Echo.
Here's a recap on our reviews, including scores from Electronic Gaming Monthly and Computer Gaming World. Visit our website at www.electplay.com, or if you're mobile, wap.electplay.com.
Well, my friend, I now have the sad task of letting everybody know that the show is over.
Well, yeah, but the good news is that we'll be back next week with a whole bunch of new games. Same dumb jokes, but new games.
Production assistance for Electric Playground is provided by Microplay. You can purchase any of the games featured in Electric Playground at a Microplay location near you. And by NVIDIA. Electric Playground only uses NVIDIA, the ultimate graphics cards.
Do you think that comic books, I mean, they're a little bit cheesy. Do you think they would actually, like, will they make good movies, do you think? Or?
Cheesy. Let's see. I've never really heard that description as far as comic. Well, there's Electra.
Cheesy.
I didn't mean cheesy. I mean, cheese is good. It's
Cheesy.
lots of protein in cheese. But
Spider sense is tingling yet, Victor.
yeah, I'm tingling.
Something ought to be tingling.
There's something tingling.